Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today we have Donnie, and he is a company agency owner with Buildwrks. Hey Donnie, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about?
My name is Donny Zanger. I'm the CEO of Buildworks and a few other companies, but my main focus right now is on Buildworks. What we are is kind of like a lead generation company for contractors. We work with one contractor alone, and we provide high quality leads for those contractors, and we're highly vetted contractors in certain areas that we're in. We're in LA, Chicago, Dallas, and New York currently.
Awesome. Yeah, Donnie, can you tell us a little bit more about how you founded the company and started it and the journey that you've been on?
Yeah, so my grandfather, as I said to you previously, always told me to become a contractor after I started my temporary wall company, which I still run. And I knew I wasn't a contractor, and I knew I didn't want to become a contractor. There's quite a learning curve for that. So I took, my skills on SEO and tech, and I kind of turned the contracting business into a tech play. And yeah, so I ranked certain my websites in those locations on Google, and basically gave these contractors their own kind of dedicated website that they kind of get for themselves. And I do the marketing, and I take a percentage of each job that comes in that's generated by my leads.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about the specific kind of contractors you work with and what do you look for when you're onboarding a client?
Yeah, so the contractors are just like ideally good salespeople, really good at executing the jobs, someone that's not going to have hiccups, who can deal with clients well, who's going to do a good job. Those are really the type of contractors that I look for, not someone that I have to hold their hand to too much. I mean, sometimes a
Mhm.
little bit, but not too much. Honest, hardworking. And the clients that we're looking for is anywhere from commercial to residential.
What does that onboarding process look like for you when you're working with a new contractor? Say you want to work with someone in Minneapolis, right? Somewhere that you don't currently have a contractor with, as well as what does the onboarding process look like for when you get that contractor a new customer or a new contract deal?
Yeah, if it's not a location that I'm marketed in, I don't really get clients from there
Mhm,
because I'm not advertising there. So the clients that I get are in the location there where I'm advertising. And the onboarding is simple. They'll call my they'll either send an email through the website, contact me through my phone. I have multiple lines ringing on my phone. And I'll get their number, I'll get their information, sell them a little bit about my contractor, and then pass it on to my contractor. The contractor will contact the client, and go look at the job.
awesome, awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about the journey and the challenges that you have starting this business and running it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, no one really thought it was gonna work. They thought it was like too much trust involved and like too many
Mhm,
handshakes being the contractors, and the contractors were just gonna run away with my money. But like a lot of these contractors nowadays, like word of mouth doesn't spread as fast anymore because of the
mhm,
internet. People are going to the internet to find contractors or plumbers or whatever they're looking for.
mhm,
And if they want to do business with me, then the idea is to continue. If they get a job, be honest about it, pay me, because if I find out, then I won't work with them anymore. And to be honest, they don't want to rely on Angie's List. They don't want to rely on Build Zoom
mhm,
because those platforms don't work. My platform
mhm,
works a lot better. Sometimes they're going to a job and they're the only contractor coming to these jobs.
mhm.
Whereas if they work with platforms, they might have sent the lead to five other contractors because they're just selling leads.
So can you kinda take us back to that first contract you worked with, that first client that you had? What did that look like, and how did you be able to build trust for them to trust you enough to lend them leads?
Yeah, so I think the first contractor was either in Chicago or in New York, where I first piloted the site. I didn't know 100% it was going to work, but I had a reference from this contractor that he was good from a friend of mine. So I had some confidence in him. He ended up doing a job. I think it was like a $200,000 job. I got a cut of that. Ended up working out great. And I just continued the relationship, and he continues to rely on me, and I'm his biggest source of leads for most
Mhm.
of these contractors.
Now, you noted in our earlier past conversations that you don't run ads. You just heavily rely on organic content. Can you tell us how you learned the skill of generating effective organic content that leads to you being able to generate all those leads for your contractors?
Yeah, so well I read a lot about SEO. I followed a lot of people. So I understood how SEO worked from the very start of it. I used to do my own SEO for TransferPod, one of my companies. So I understood how it worked. It changed throughout the years, and to be honest, I got too busy to do it myself, and it changed too much that I really didn't want to keep up with it so much. I'd rather focus on my business rather than do my own SEO. And
Mm,
I have a team in India of 7 people that do my SEO. So I basically hired that person knowing that he knew so much more than me, right? So if someone knows
mhm,
so much more than you, obviously they're the right person to do the job. That's kind of how I
mhm,
talk to my contractors when I hire them too. If they know so
mhm.
much more about the subject than you do, then usually they have some expertise in the field. So that's kind of what I do with my SEO. I got a little bit lucky. He's been with me for probably like 7 years, and he does a good job.
So in like the agency space, there's a lot of people that want to work with contractors when it comes to like roofers or restoration companies, etc. How does someone break into that and start to be able to service these type of businesses like yourself? Is it strictly just having good SEO for them to deliver that service, to deliver the leads to them? And how do you be able to build trust to be able to work with these type of clients you're working with?
Yeah, I mean, I think SEO is the cornerstone of organic traffic nowadays, whether it's you're optimizing for AI search or Google search or both, preferably both. I mean, it goes hand in hand, but Reddit is also important as well. That's part of SEO.
Mhm,
But yeah, I mean, like if I was just a contractor myself, I would learn a lot about SEO and find
mhm,
someone that can do it well. I think Fiverr is a great tool for that.
mhm,
But there's a lot of bad SEO companies out there. I'd say
mhm.
75% are bad and then 25% are good.
And
Maybe
is
less than that.
So, have you ever tried to do any other source of marketing or ads or anything like that for yourself to land more of these contractors or
I've tested out email marketing a little bit for my plumbing
Mhm,
company, which is under
mhm.
Buildwrks as well. It's also lead generation. I got a lot of bad, like I sent out a lot of quotes and it wasn't very effective.
So it's just strictly SEO for yourself and away.
I do have a social media that's has 20,000 followers on it. So,
Okay.
that's more to convert the traffic from Google. So people see me as an authority, as, you know,
In the space.
um,
How did you go about growing that social media? Did you start it as soon as you started your company, or how did that come along?
yeah, I started it and then I just hired someone, and a lot of it's AI generated ads and stuff like that, and
Mhm,
interacting with people. With my plumbing company, honestly, in the beginning, I just went out and followed people and unfollowed them and did
mhm,
that thing for a while. I grew that to 6,000 followers
mm,
doing it that way manually. And now I just let it grow on its own. And,
mhm,
it's also just an authority page for my
mhm.
traffic. I actually get more traffic than any other New York plumbing company in all of New York. So we generate
Wow.
more traffic from plumbingnyc.com than any other plumbing company. There's probably 40 or 50 other companies that we beat out.
Wow. And that's strictly just from your Instagram as well as having good SEO.
That's SEO.
SEO. Okay. Does your Instagram page feed it so when they click on your page, when they look up plumbing, etc., do they ever get rerouted to your Instagram? Does your Instagram play a role in you converting them
There's an
into
Instagram.
customers?
Yeah, there's the Instagram is on the bottom of the page, so they
Mhm,
can look at the Instagram, from the website. but I don't know how many clients I'm getting straight from Instagram. I think social, I don't know, people just go to social and they kind of, some people are generating leads. I think it's the best leads are really from Google.
I see. So you spoke a little about AI videos on the Instagram. How do you use AI currently in your company, and how have you seen AI kind of change from when you started 3 years ago, which 3 years ago is when AI first kinda started coming out, to now?
It helps me write like quotes and stuff. I use it
Mhm,
for emails sometimes. I'm not heavily using it on a daily basis, but I'm
mhm.
building a tool which is very intricate that is AI based.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. If you could go kinda back and use hindsight to when you first started your company, and you could use now some of the beliefs you have in the knowledge that you have now, what would you kinda do differently 3 years ago?
It's a good question. I wouldn't have listened to anyone telling me that it wasn't a good idea. I probably would have ignored the chatter. I probably wouldn't
Mhm,
have tried to raise money even. I probably would have just bootstrapped it, which is what I did.
mhm.
Yeah, I probably would just went with my gut, which is what I do with most things now. I don't uh listen to other people. If you think other people have a better opinion than you, then it's, not necessarily I mean, people have their opinions, but
Mhm.
ultimately, if you're a good entrepreneur, you should go with your gut, and I think your gut serves you right.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that. You can't take advice from somebody that has done nothing that you wanna do, right? Someone that's working that casual,
Exactly.
9 to 5 job or believes in job security or anything like that, they're gonna know nothing about, entrepreneurship, and you shouldn't take any advice or even listen to them, especially when it comes from a place of love, they're just
Well,
trying to
even
protect
if
you.
they are not even if they are an entrepreneur, I think you shouldn't take advice from them,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
If somebody took advice if everybody took advice from each other, there would not be as much innovation in our world than there is, right? So, I'm glad you
I
touched
agree
on
with
that. Can you speak about how you see your company growing in the next 5 years, and what are kinda some goals now that I mean, it's February, right? The new year, started not too long ago, even though time is seems to be just flying past. We're almost in March. What are some goals that you actually have this year, and where do you see your company in 5 years? I know that's a little bit far away, but what are some goals that you have for this year and
Yeah,
the foreseeable future?
I mean, I've always done things systematically,
Mhm,
like kinda like a stepping stone for the next thing.
mhm,
Um, it's a good company right now to build, to invest into my next project.
mhm,
I don't see this being my big grand slam. I think the
mhm,
next products that I'm building now, this the AI SaaS tool,
mhm,
is gonna be a lot bigger. So my plan is just to have people run whatever I'm doing now, hire someone to do what I'm doing now to unload that so I could
mhm,
focus on my next project. And I wanna have multiple projects. I wanna have, kind of an AI studio where
mhm,
we can keep creating new products, some getting bought hopefully and some not.
mhm.
But I want to just keep creating. That's what I like doing, and then just like kind of handing off the baton to someone to run whatever that is that's growing.
I see. Can you give us a little bit of, information? I know it's still in the works, but you speak about this SaaS AI application. Can you give us a little bit more insight into what you're working on?
Yeah, it's an agentic tool, all agentic AI. It has basically few. It's a bunch of different things. There's an AI price scout on it, so you could price your materials. There's follow-ups on there, a schedule for you. There's a chat box that you can ask what you should price something at, and it'll tell you what you should price it at. It's geared towards not just contractors, which a lot of the other tools are mainly geared towards. Ours is geared towards designers, content creators,
Mhm,
contractors, you name it, anyone can use it.
mhm,
um, there's a schedule on there. There's a way to put up old quotes that you can upload into the system so it learns how you price things. Then you can send out these quotes with a way to pay on there, all laid out in a nice template.
awesome. Something big, something big. Can you
I hope
kinda give
so.
us a little bit more insight of what kinda made you specifically wanted what was the inspiration to designing that application? And what problem did you see in the market that you're like, "I know I can serve this, and I know I can solve this pain point here. Let me create this application."
Well, it started out with an AI tool to do like bigger estimations for contractors because I was getting a lot of people reaching out to do takeoffs and stuff. So we built out something similar to do that using AI and paused that to release this, which is a little bit lighter version. We want to kind of corner the estimation market. So we're going to release different estimation tools, that being the first one. So that's how I got into this contract. Yeah, I think the contractors are gonna love it. I think they'll be able to use it. So yeah, I'll definitely give it to them, and I'm sure they'll be able to use it. It's a great tool and
Mhm.
great way to look professional. And yeah,
Take. What kind of mentality does it take to be able to work every day towards this and keep growing and find the motivation to keep going?
yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it's grit. I didn't grow up poor,
Mhm,
in any way, but I also didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I was expected to earn a living, and even with my struggles that I have, like everyone has, I push myself. I expect to produce as a person, as an individual in this country, in this world. I wouldn't say I'm like motivated so much by money. I don't feel strapped for cash, but I don't feel flush with cash.
mhm,
I feel that opportunity is knocking at my doorsteps. So that feeling of opportunity that I have is what pushes me and ultimately will hopefully make me in a better position next year or the year after.
I feel like a lot of us are dealt certain cards, and a lot of us have great opportunities, including myself here. Being able to take advantage of those opportunities and having the knowledge to know how big some of your opportunities that are in front of you are is great. And I love how you're taking advantage of that from when we had a conversation in the past of you started a service or a business when it was iPods, and then now you switched over. You've worn many hats as an entrepreneur. What is one kind of piece of advice that you would give to somebody that is trying to kind of replicate doing what you're doing, wearing different hats and different kind of businesses?
Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of like starter stories. I watched a lot of I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I see people even more successful than myself. And one of the things is like, and I've done this with companies before that I've started. I once emailed someone one of my products, and they said, "Oh, well, these people are doing it," and I said, "Well, we're going to do it differently. First of all, second of all, like being the first person to do something is not like that's like 2% of business, right? Like
Mhm,
you could totally copy someone else's business model,
mhm,
tweak it a little bit, and resell it, right? Like half these
mhm,
starter stories that I'm listening to is some
mhm,
guy looking at a website with sites for sale and just recreating them and just like, I don't know, discounting the price a little bit or
mhm,
adding an AI feature to it, right? So like
mhm.
that's my advice, right? Just like look at things that are around you and you don't always have to recreate the wheel in order to be successful. Because I didn't.
I love that. I love a lot of people think that they need to find this new thing, right? This new thing that's never been done before, and they can't tell anybody and they don't want to speak about it. No, the best things are the things that people are doing right now because that's how you know it's working. Because if it wasn't working, there'd be
Exactly.
no demand for it and no one would be doing it, right? Book on that. Now, Donnie, where could the people find more of you? Can you kind of give us your LinkedIn and your company website?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn as Donny Zanger, DonnyZanger. You can Google me. I've been published quite a
Hmm.
bit. I'm on all the platforms really, but you could definitely connect with me on LinkedIn at Donny Zanger.
Hmm.
If you want to just drop me a line, I'm always willing to give advice and free advice. And, if I could help in any way, I'd love to.
Awesome. Now, Donnie, to wrap us up here, one last question. If you had a magical wand, right, that could fix any problem that you see in your business or that you might think you might have down the line, what problem would you fix?
Well, in the future, maybe just not down the line. I mean, because like not receiving funding for a lot of my projects were good, but um, I feel like what's broken is VC world is kind of broken. I mean, I'm all over the place, right? Like I've been on 2 podcasts today. I was on a podcast last week. Like, why are
Mhm.
podcast people finding me, not VCs aren't finding me? right?
Mhm.
So I think that's when money needs to be deployed, right? Because hopefully, if I do have this project and it's growing steadily, we'll need funding. There was one VC that reached out, a newer VC. Well, why are they not finding me? That's the better question. And I think these young
Mhm.
VCs are looking for money that's easy as opposed to hard, as opposed
Mhm.
to the podcasters that are just starting out. Because a lot of the podcasts I'm the first podcast, second podcast, they're just starting out and they're doing their
Mhm.
legwork. I feel that VCs don't really do that anymore. Maybe they did in the beginning. I don't know how it works now, but they're not doing a very good job.
Yeah. Well, I truly hope those VCs end up finding you, Donnie, because I think that they're gonna really have a strong ROI on their investment into you. Donnie, now it's been a
You
pleasure
know,
having you on the pod here. I appreciate our conversation, and the viewers know where to find you. And yeah,
thank you.
all right, guys, see you in the next episode. All right.